Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, hey, check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, have to be of a certain age, I think. Hey, you guys.
Oh, hey, you guys.
Oh,
I
hey,
just
you
didn't
guys.
hear it. Yeah.
That was a different show.
Schoolhouse Rock. That's
Before we get started, let me just remind everybody to please silence your cell phones. No flash photography, live streaming or transmission or videotaping of the press conference is allowed. And please raise your hand when you want to ask a question, and we'll get a microphone to you, and then I can recognize you. And also, please identify yourself and your media agency before you ask your question. Thank you. Okay. Okay, we'll get started with Kansas State. Coach Weber, if you could just give us a couple opening thoughts, and then we'll go to questions.
Well, just obviously disappointed for, we had an unbelievable opportunity. I'm disappointed for our players. They've worked very hard to get to this point. You don't get this opportunity very often. Disappointed for K-State fans, unbelievable fans that, maybe take that next step. But also at the same time, just so proud of our guys, how hard they've worked, how we've overcome so much through the year, and did some special things. It's hard to get to this spot, and right now we got a lot of sad faces, a lot of tears. But I told them I appreciate them so much, and hats off to Loyola, Coach Moser, unbelievable. We put on the board toughness and discipline. And they were tougher than us from the get-go. They were physical, very disciplined. And then they had Ben Richardson stepped up and had his shining moment, his magic game. And that's what you need. And we had a couple of those on the run. And they had it today, and we just didn't have enough to answer.
We'll go to questions. Third row here on the right.
Yeah, Matt Hall, K-State Online. Barry, I'm sure it's almost impossible to answer right now, but how do you think you'll look back on what you accomplished in this tournament and what this team accomplished getting to the Elite Eight?
I think we're just going to just take it all in within the next few days and really cherish what we did. It sucks right now, but looking back on it with the expectations, a lot of people, we exceeded a lot, even though we knew what we were capable of ourselves. So I think within the next few days, we're going to take it all in, come together, and really embrace what we did.
Second row here, Steve.
Steve Hummer from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. For Xavier and Coach Weber, I guess both, what do you think that Loyola was able to do to you all that no one else has been able to do this tournament, especially on offense?
Xavier, you want to start?
They jumped out to that big lead in the beginning. It was hard for us to come back from that, and just kept the foot on the gas, and it was just hard to come back.
They're a good defensive team. Their numbers back it up. We've been pretty good defensively. They made shots. You go 6 for 7 for Richardson and 9 for 18 from 3. It's a difference maker. But defensively, some of the stuff they do, icing the ball screens, switching everything. They were very physical. We never could get in any rhythm, and I feared it. Our staff feared it. We talked a lot yesterday about it. They were better defensively than I even thought, to be honest, and I thought we might be able to get some things, some looks, but we just didn't do that. And I said to you guys yesterday, they're really good. I don't care what league they are, to win 31 games, to do what they've done. That they're a special group, and they're very driven, and they play together well, and they played exceptional today.
Third row on the left.
Tim Fitzgerald, GoPowerCat.com. Barry, what was Loyola doing offensively that broke down your defensive schemes?
I think they were just more disciplined on offense. We didn't really have a disciplined defense. They were spreading us out, getting in the gaps and kicking and just playing rope action, just playing off of each other and making the right passes. And we were just never able to recover and stop it with a good closeout.
First row here on the right.
To Xavier, Dave Friedlander, Gwinnett Daily Post. To Xavier, just kind of expanding on the defensive end here. You shot the ball very well tonight, but you only had, I think, about 9 field goal attempts. How much more difficult was it to find your shot against this defense than it was against Kentucky the other night?
To do a lot of switching, like Coach said, and he said, and they just did a good job of switching and being able to just stay in front of us, really. And that's pretty much about it.
Let's go back to third row on the right.
Yeah, Cam, this is for you. You scored 11 all in the second half, got to the basket a lot. I assume you never thought you guys were out of that game, and were trying to get back in at that point?
We definitely knew we had a lot to do in the second half, and we just talked about it, come out real aggressive, and try to make a run at it.
Second row here again.
Yeah, Coach Weber, the forcing turnovers has been a big part, and you forced 15 tonight. Would you have taken that and thought that would have been enough?
Yeah.
How did they play through that, you think?
Well, when we got 28 points, we just didn't do a great one. They talked about, just stopping him, especially early in the game. They beat us on a lot of dribble drives. They're very good, very disciplined at shot fakes, getting to the hoop, making the next pass. Sometimes it's a clinic how they play, and you appreciate that. They just, and then they made those shots, but when we picked up our intensity a little bit, I thought we came out on our heels. We let them do whatever they want offensively. Second half, I got after our guys. I just say, we got to be physical. We got to get after them, and picked it up, got some turnovers, led to some transition, gave us a little bit of a chance, but obviously, it was too much to make up in that late in the game.
Fourth row here on the right.
C.L. Brown with the Fieldhouse. This is for Coach Weber. I was curious, you mentioned when you were at Illinois how you, that year, you were talking about the Sweet 16 and you felt like you put a cap on it. Is there anything from this experience, this run to the Elite Eight, that you will take moving forward with this team?
Yeah, I kind of threw at them last year. We got one win. This now our goal is to get to the Sweet 16, and I told them, because I've learned not to cap it. I said, you get to the Sweet 16, anything can happen, and anything did happen. We found a way to beat Kentucky, got to this point, obviously. But I said, learn from Loyola, how hard they play, how tough they are, how they play together, and we got to take that step. And we got a good ball club. We did a lot of good things, a lot to be proud of, but obviously, success can't just stop. It's got to continue. We got to, with the leadership of these older guys, they need to keep pushing everybody and take that next step for a year from now.
One question on the left, third row.
Xavier, you're only a sophomore. Over the course of this season, now ending in this, and this might be really difficult to answer right at this moment, but what have you learned about the level of work and discipline and focus on the court that it takes to get to this point of a season and then maybe go farther next year?
It takes a lot, just to be here in this position. It's great for us, and we see what it takes. And this off season, we're going to come even harder to get back and go even further. And I feel like it's a growing for me. It's a growing lesson for me, and just learning that. And I know these guys, and we all going to work hard this off season to get back here.
Raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you if you have a question for any of the gentlemen on the stage. Middle of the room.
Coach, you were DeAndre Allen, K-State Collegian. Coach, you were picked to finish 8th during the preseason in the conference. You finished 4th and made it to the Elite 8. What kind of impact does that leave on you, and how we would carry that momentum to next season? Well,
Obviously, I'm very proud of our guys and their work ethic, and our staff. Our staff does a great job. I think the players would tell you that. They have a great relationship. They're around our guys, helping them improve. But we all talked about President Myers is here, and our athletic director, Gene Taylor. All the message was, we have a great group that has worked very hard, and you're proud to have them as part of your team, part of K-State athletics. And, they got to continue that, but now they got a little taste of it, and now keep taking, make that next step. And it's work. I said it many times from when we got back in April, Barry said, this is my team, we're going to lead, we're going to work hard. And then you got to give them some credit also for overcoming. I mean, when you lose your starting point guard in the middle of Big 12, the toughest conference in the country with 3 teams in the Elite 8, and you're able to survive, I mean, it's amazing. And then you lose Dean, and first team all conference, 20 points a game, leading assists. It's tough but they found a way. And, it's amazing, their resiliency and persistence.
In the middle of the room again.
Nathan and Sarah, K-State Collegian. Barry, X, and Cam, most of the squad's coming back next year. Same question to you. How are you planning to keep the momentum going forward?
Just by staying together this off season, working real hard. I mean we have a whole year now, so we kind of know each other a little bit more, a little bit better, so we can gel together on and off the court. But I mean, it's going to take a little bit more effort, a little bit more energy, and a little bit more time in the weight room, film, in the gym, just learning the game, learning the system.
Do you want Cam to answer that too, or no? Cam?
Like X said, we're going to come back, and during the off season, we're going to work even harder. You know, we know what it took to get to this point, and now we know what it takes to get even further. So we're just going to work harder, put the work in to get back to this point next year.
Okay, these two questions, and then we'll be done.
Coach, Joe Drape from the New York Times, and I'm also a Kansas City native. They have two guards there from Kansas that were pretty good and really didn't look like Division I guards if you just saw them get off the bus. Can you talk about what they do?
Oh, you know, you got to give them credit. One, they're Mason Schoen, one of our walk-on seniors, was a high school teammate with them. They won in high school. They were undefeated, state champions back-to-back. They're winners. The first thing when we asked Mason to talk about those guys, they said they're winners. And that, you know, we told the guys that, and their toughness and, you know, their discipline is special. Obviously, Richardson had a special night tonight. Now he averaged 6 points a game coming into this, but he rose up and played at a high level. Clayton Custer didn't have quite as good a game, but has a great year. So, you know, and I was there. I was in the Missouri Valley. We got to the Sweet 16. You know, you get guys that'll work at it and fight their butts off for you. You know, a lot of things can happen. You know, and even our guys, they weren't the highest recruited guys in the world. And they've rose up, and we've beaten some of the top teams. So it's work ethic, discipline, character, all those things that the scouting services could give a damn about. You know, those are important for coaches and the development of kids.
Last question right here.
Coach, I know you've been asked this 100 times in the last month, but with the season over, can you talk about what Dean had to deal with for the last month in this injury?
You know, I told the guys the only thing I missed in our pregame, and I think through what I'm going to say, you know, play for Dean. And you know, because he didn't get this chance, but he got us here. You know, he was not by himself, but he was a big force, so you feel sorry for him. I give him credit. You know, the 4 points he scored the other night to show the courage to play, just too much pain, and we couldn't take a chance with his future. And you know, I don't understand why things happen, but life isn't always fair. But it makes you tougher in the long run, and I hope it helps Dean in the long run. It helps our team. You know, think of all the things that happen. With Cam going down, Cartier got a chance and developed. When you know, Dean and Barry go down in Kansas game, Mike McGurl gets a chance. So, you know, it's craziness how things work out, but you know, our guys rose up and took a step, and you know, Dean obviously is really good. I mean, and I think he wants to be even better. So I would anticipate him. We got to probably shut him down for a month and get that foot healed, and then get after it.
Thank you very much, Coach. Thank you, gentlemen.
Man, Ben, you was bashing that bitch.
Don't put that in front of you so we can see you on camera, okay? Okay. Y'all good with that? Okay. All right, we'll get started with Loyola. Coach Moser, if you could just start with a couple of open thoughts, and then we'll go to questions.
First of all, like we always talk about it, the glory goes to God. We're just so blessed with the journey. And secondly, I just this group of guys are resilient. They believe. We've said it all along. Game by game, they've just taken one game at a time and believes their togetherness, their body language, their effort that they invested. I'm so happy for them to see these guys experience that is an amazing feeling as a coach to go through, have a locker room like this, and I'm just really happy for those guys.
Raise your hand and we'll get a microphone to you for questions. Let's go right here to the left first.
Henry Redmond, Loyola Phoenix. Coach, at the beginning of the season, you started talking about why not us. Can you talk about how that's gotten you here?
You know, we did say that, and it's been quite a metamorphosis because Loyola Phoenix was the only one in the press conference for about 20 games. This is we did. You know, all summer long we were like, why not us? And the opportunity and how much they invested in it. This is not something where it just started. These guys have been investing for a long time on how hard they worked, how hard they believed. And, you know, we've kind of had this mantra about the process. People ask me out there, they go, did you ever think you're going to the Final Four? And to be honest with you, it wasn't after Selection Sunday, we didn't say, hey, let's go to the Final Four. We said, all right, what do we got to do to beat Miami? And then it was the next game. And these guys have done an amazing job of just laser-like focus on what's right in front of them instead of skipping steps. But why not us? You have to have guys, high-character guys that believe to really, truly do that.
Front row, two questions. First, right here.
David Hawk, Chicago Tribune. Ben, how do you explain how locked in you were tonight? And after the couple of shots, you looked into the crowd. Were you looking at anybody in particular, or just the crowd in general?
You know, that's just one of those moments that, you know, like I can't even explain. You know, I kind of just black out. And but you know, I gotta credit my teammates for finding me. You know, that's what's so special about our team. We got so many unselfish guys, and we have so many weapons. And like we've been saying, it can be anybody's night. You know, and we've shown that so far this tournament. I mean, each one of these guys has had a big night, and you know, I was in a rhythm, and they were finding me, and so I just kept taking shots, and they went down, and it was a big time game, the biggest game of my life, and so yeah, I guess I kind of just blacked out in some of those celebrations.
Stay on the front row here.
All right, Shannon Ryan, Chicago Tribune. Could some of you describe when you checked out of the game, like Ben, I know you and Porter hugged each other, just what were some of the things that you guys said to each other or exchanged in those moments?
Ben, why don't you go ahead?
You know, it's just some personal stuff, but mainly just, you know, that we loved each other and you know, just emphasizing kind of what Coach was saying earlier, just how far we've came and you know, we believed in each other and in the process this whole year, and we knew that we could do special things, and so it didn't really matter, you know, what outside you know, people thought or what they thought we could do. It was just, you know, all it took was the belief in the locker room and each one of the coaches and my teammates, my brothers, and you know, to have that kind of moment, it's surreal, and I can't even put it into words.
Who else did you want to answer that? Dante, go ahead. Dante.
I mean, it's going off what Ben said. You know, it's just this group, man. We've been so connected all year, and you know, we've got so much love for each other, and you know, just knowing, you know, where we came from, and you know, the vision we had, you know, since day one, And, you know, to get here now, you know, with this group of guys, the coaching staff, it just means so much. So, you know, obviously checking out the game, you know, you just giving everybody hugs because, you know, we put the work in to get here, you know, so it means a lot to all of us, and, you know, it's just an unreal feeling.
Let's go to the third row.
The past, 3 games have been relatively close. Oh, Isaiah Smalls, Maroon Tiger, to anybody that wants to answer it. The past 3 games have been relatively close. You guys won today by double digits, and we're not down. The double-digit lead did not slip through the entire second half. How does it feel to, one, not be sweating in the final minutes, but also get a much-deserved big win?
Dante, why don't you take that? Oh, go ahead. You're fine. Marcus.
I mean, I was just looking at the stat sheet, and it just shows right there. They shot 34% for the game, and that was one of our game goals to try to have them shoot under 40% for the game. And we knew that Kansas State was a gritty team, and they'll get up on you and make you turn the ball over. But I feel like we took real good care of the ball today, and we were selfless today. And Ben had a real good game, and we tried to limit their offensive rebounding. We made some big-time plays and big-time shots and at certain crucial moments. And like I said before, they shot 34% for the game, and I feel like us getting those stops, resulted and contributed to the W.
Second row, Blair.
Blair Kirchhoff with the Kansas City Star. Ben, I think we heard that on the TV interview you shared a story about a photograph that was taken yesterday. Could you share it with us?
Clay's going to kill me for sharing this for the second time. But no, she asked a question about, I think, the fact that, we're not really imposing, or people didn't expect us to get to this point. And it was just a funny story yesterday in the hotel. Clay.
It was earlier today.
Or was it earlier today?
Yeah.
Well, I'm everything's a blur right now. But earlier today, we were getting on the elevator after shoot around, and somebody in the hotel, I think it was like a high school kid or something, was asking for a picture with the team, and they said, "Hey, can you take this, mister?" And they gave the phone to Clay. And he was gonna take it too. Like, he was being polite. He was gonna take it, and I was just like, "Oh man. Oh, no."
Everybody was like laughing at me and stuff.
It's disrespectful.
But it just shows like it doesn't matter. I mean, it's a cliche. Coach always says it, but it doesn't matter the size of the dog in the fight. It's the fight in the dog, and Clay's a dog, and he's
player of the year. He's player of the year in the conference.
He's proven. You don't care. He's proven. I mean, he doesn't care, and he's proven that he belongs on this stage, and he's the best point guard in my mind in this tournament. And I'm not just saying that because he's my best friend, but I might be biased, but that's what I believe, and we all believe that, and our belief in each other is what makes us so special.
Way over on the left by the table.
Daryl Moody, Nevada Appeal. Clayton, do you feel that your defense gets overlooked because you guys so much is talked about your offensive execution? Do you think that not get enough credit for your guys' defense?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing we talk about when we talk about any team or scouting any team is how we're going to stop them. We talk about defense. I mean, coach makes sure that we're locked in on the defensive end. Our coaching staff works harder than anybody I've ever seen to know every single tendency of every single player, and we have a specific way of how we want to guard things, and the first focus is defense for us. So, yeah, I mean, people talk about our spacing and the way we move the ball and how unselfish we are, which I think that is expected because we do a good job of that. But I think maybe, yeah, I mean, our defense is definitely the key to us winning these games.
Let's go to Ken here in the third row.
Ben, Ken Segir, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. To kind of follow up on the question earlier, was there a point today or in the game early when you started to kind of know I'm feeling really good? And then second, you hit that and 1-3, you're lying on the floor, kind of like doing snow angels almost. What do you remember from that moment?
I felt like I was in a rhythm, like I said earlier, and I got a good look to start the game, and that kind of started me off, and then I hit a contested one, and after that I was really in a rhythm, and the rim starts to look a little bit bigger, and on that particular play, I was on the floor when I saw it drop, and I was pretty exhausted at that point, it's when the crowd kind of erupts like that on an and 1, 3 or 4 point play, I was just celebrating, and I had my teammates come pick me up because I was pretty tired, but I had to celebrate on the floor, and I'm glad I made the free throw.
Fifth row here on the right.
For any of the players, you guys started all 5 had fast feet on defense. I mean, it wasn't 3 or 4. You all had very fast feet. How does that move in sync like that?
Marcus, why don't you take that one?
You said Dre?
No, you said Marcus.
Oh,
Marcus.
you said me? I wasn't.
That's a good question.
What was the question?
Oh, you weren't listening?
Why do we have fast feet?
Oh, why do we have fast feet?
No, why do we
Yeah.
start out fat?
Yeah.
Defensively, we started out well.
Yeah,
Especially
Brian
Craig
Mullins,
last
corridors.
What do you say?
No, I know we kind of emphasize, we've been down the last couple of games early, especially during like the first like media. But we wanted to come out today. We wanted to make an emphasis. Let's not start slow today. Let's give it all we got in the beginning, and I feel like that. I mean, that showed today. We got some big time stops and made them shoot hard contested shots, and I feel like everybody was connected on defense. And just like I said before, I mean, they shot 34% for the game, and when the team shoots 34%, I mean, you can see the margin of victory. I'm just so happy for this team, and I'm just blessed to be in this position.
2 on the front row here.
Porter, how do you explain just how efficient you were? You came out, you guys were locked in immediately. I mean, it was as good as you've probably played in the 4 games of the tournament.
Our defense dictates everything. We say it all the time. Our defense dictates our offense. And we talked a lot about the Miami game and Tennessee game. We just kind of got shell-shocked in the first 4 or 5 minutes, and we called a timeout, and then we got settled in because I thought we were playing defense quiet. And they came out really noisy on defense. They were guarding right in front of us. And normally you hear our bench yelling everything. And they were yelling switches. They were yelling different things they thought they were running. And you could just see them, you could just see them getting stops and then running. You could just see the energy of creating some offense with our defense. And I think they knew right away that our defense was dictating our offense. And the confidence was just growing. Moving and spacing the ball because they knew they were getting stops.
Got time for 2 more. Shannon.
Porter, can you think back to even the preseason and just things you were noticing with this group that made you think this is going to be maybe a special season or these guys are going to work really well together?
We've enjoyed the journey. Like we enjoy the moments, but then when it's time to lock in, they've been locked in, whether it's a walkthrough, a film session. We have these get better tapes that we've shown every single game, and we never blow them off. Even when there's short turnarounds, we show clips of intangibles that we did well and things to get better. And just watching them from day one embrace the things they had to do better. Sometimes you show the get better tapes, and guys are like, "All right, coach, you're tripping." And these guys have embraced getting better. They've embraced the process of what to do, and you can just see how locked in they are. And they have a ton of fun with each other. I mean, you can see they have a ton of fun with each other. They're enjoying this ride more than you guys. But when it's time to lock in, they are locked in. It's because they want to win. It's in their genes. I mean, they are winning young men.
3rd row, last question.
Tucker Toole, Maroon Tiger Media Group. Coach, you guys have only allowed about 62 points on the season. You guys held K-State to 62 tonight. What's been the key to the defensive consistency throughout the season?
Like a couple of them said, you achieve what you emphasize. We've been focusing in on it. I mean, all year. I mean, all off season. They bought in that's what wins, and then they bought in that it creates offense, and they know we got weapons, and they know the way we do things offensively. And if you can run, I always crack up when people say we play slow. I mean, we try to grind you out on defense, but we're trying to push it. These guys will all tell you, I'm trying to tell them to push it, pass it ahead.
Go.
I read an article last week. They said, look, we slow it down. I'm like, I'm not trying to slow it down. We've just got shortened possessions because I think we do a pretty good job grinding people out on D. But these guys have bought into the defense, from day one. And Ben and Dante have been here since day one, and they've heard me say it every single year. You look at the top 3 teams in the Missouri Valley Conference, every year in defense, they're the top 3 teams that finish it. And that was kind of something that drove them from the beginning to make it contagious amongst everybody to guard from day one.
That's right.
Very good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We ain't going. Good job, Drake.
Loyola locker room is open. These guys are headed back there now.